Flower of Life and Phyto 5. A geometric pattern of evenly spaced repeating overlapping circles of equal radii in two-dimensional space. Resembling a mandala, it's a sacred geometry blueprint representing the primordial desire for completion and unity of self. For this reason, Phyto 5 adopted the Flower of Life to graphically depict the quantum nature of its 5 elemental lines of skincare. Like the tangible flower, the Flower of Life blooms too, radiating the first vibratory patterns of the universe, showing us that all things emerge from one perfectly organized pattern. The geometric pattern of the Flower of Life represents the essential concept of quantum physics. Phyto 5's energetic 5-element lines vibrate with a potency that registers in the quantum range of frequency. The Flower of Life is used as a focus both for study and meditation, but it should not only be viewed as a thing outside of and separate from ourselves. Follow for more or gain insight to add energy medicine to your healing practice. Go ahead and visit tanyad.tv/Phyto-5 or email info@tanyad.tv, and I will see you on the other side. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Blessings to you, my energetic being.
And blessings to you, my energetic beings, inshallah, and Ashe, divine wills. Blessings, I should say, to you 333 plus magical energetic beings. Are we going to hit the 444 this month? Angel numbers, please. Share the excitement with your friends and your guests, along with other like-minded virtual musers out in the galaxy. Either way, thank you for tuning in and joining me. And it is a Wizardry Wednesday, kind of like the blizzard of a wizard. And by design, the universe has really granted us access to bring into our field our manifestation coming to life, the fruition, producing it. So it kind of takes a more tangible form, being seen. So kind of go back 6 months and see how far that you've actually come. And go ahead and hit that white rabbit. Do so right now. It's the only way that we can actually make certain that this algorithm, this vibration frequency, will give you the nutritional quotient that your soul deserves. Heartfelt feeling, sensation, kind of like skipping stones down to our bones. Our inner value quotient, our optimistic venue, the love quotient, all the goods and the gooders. But while we're waiting for people to hop on, join us live, tune into the replay, watch us in the afternoon, whatever timeline by design you're on. What is it that your heart values? Are you syncing the codes? Do you value yourself? And what do you value outside of yourself into your day-to-day world? So this is a channeling energy from the Shaman's portal, the imaginal realm, into the physical, into the earth star. So wherever you are on your soul's journey in this incarnation, the universe is actually working in our flavor. So trusting in the process and loving on it too. So we've already planted the seeds. We're giving it our creation, the sustenance, and we are feeding it through that. We are nurturing it, and we have been nurturing it because we've been showing up for it. Loving it in a kind, compassionate way with all of the energetic hiccups along the way, even the trivial pursuits, the people, the places, the things, even the situations. The particles and the waves are actually coming together. They're landing to an aspect or an area that you really intend to grow in your life and prosper in life. We're kind of calling it in. Whether that's a prosperous relationship, an abundant business that showers prosperity amongst all in the village. The tree of life is actually what comes in. Excuse me, when I see that. And the energy is actually coming together to create this sustenance into tangible form. So on the way, we keep just trusting and feeling, trusting our intuition, our psychic abilities, the universe, trusting our gifts and purpose. And we're loving the journey that we've been on, discovering new pathways along the way, embracing it with heartfelt love and gratitude, universal streams pouring in, absolute light, scalar waves, feeling the gratitude blossom. It's the blessing bowl. I hope you have one on your desk. But it's also the two sides. It's the other sides where the gratitude inside of us kind of blossoms and goes out into the world around us and outside of us. And the gratitude outside of us is seeing what we have been blessed with, just being in the miraculous, whatever that is for your unique essence, your gift and purpose, your prime directive. Life has gifted us with fated opportunities to live in it, receiving the offer. Subconsciously, we often create out into the airwaves, and fate is what happens for us, and the destiny is where we decide to take that, whatever's fated upon us. And with that, my name is Tanya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. And if you have yet to subscribe to my channels, please do. Go ahead and hit that white rabbit, that white button on YouTube, Tanya D. That's where you're tuning in. Or even my Musing with Tanya D podcast. I'm so excited about this year. But we're in the season of Taurus, the Earth Star, Nature Empathy, our Heart Center, the Relational channel, the Shamans portal, which is the Imaginal, the mystical, along with the Root Center, which is physical empathy and manifesting energy. It's red. It's like installing the hard drive of our innate net value. And today we're actually going to take it to the cosmic bank. By divine design, before I go any further, once again, I just want to give a shout out to my growing village. My tribe is excelling. To all the new peeps entering the village, the corridor, the community, new subscribers, I do see you. I just always like to give a validation, a voice of acknowledgement that you are seen. I do see you, new friends and guests. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the village. My intention truly is to hit the 444 by month's end. If you're in, go ahead and just share with your friends, like-minded musers and guests and whatnot. It really does take a community, a village, a tribe to really change the world that we're in. Long as we're on the same frequency, energy, vibration. And of course, a shout out to those of you that do tune in all the time, been here since the beginning of my journey. It really does take a community, a village. So gratitude and blessings to you and for you, and also those that do tune into the replay later. I also see you as well. And Ashe appreciation. And a comment if you feel like you're in need of a message for the day. Sharing is just another way of paying it forward. It's a gratitude blessing outside to inside. And I'm telling you, when I say this for myself, it's a receivership. You got to be in reciprocity, right? You can also find me on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and whatnot. Oh, my back. Just remember, I am your otherworldly shamanic reflecting assistant. You truly are your own healer, but sometimes we have energetic hiccups, and we do need another worldly life coach assistant, myself included, to get us out of our own magical ways so we can illuminate our gift and purpose. And the daily snippet, what's this all about? Well, I like to bring in the cosmic insights, the planets, the elementals of the galaxy, if you will, doing their cosmic dance. And by design, I do follow the energies of the moon through the seasons and the gates. I do have another gate activated today, the mutation channel. I have a gate every day this week, actually, or a channel. Channel stays the same, but the season is not. So it's like same channel, different season. So it's kind of my little online memoir here. But for the season of Taurus, we have the Earth Star, our 10th energetic centers online. It's all things nature, the natural realm, nature empathy. Go ahead and take my Change Your Stars quiz and find out your intuitive gift order or your psychic ability. It's really a fun little quiz. However, the drawbridge is down. It's lowered. It's hit the ground. We're anchoring it in. So you've probably dreamed the dream, the imaginal, through the universal streams, your heart's wishes and desires. What have you created, manifested, produced, brought it into your day-to-day reality, your environment in this timeline by design? So are you a dream weaver? Because fire is also dreams, visions, and spirits. And we do have a very fiery month in the elemental realm, the 4 pillars. So if you could bring in the imaginal, the vision into this world, because we vision all the time, right? So are you able to manifest at will for yourself, or are you like me and you are great at doing it for others? And I'm not even kidding. I was a guest on the 10 days of remembering, and my goal's been this 444. However, I manifested it for her. So I have to flip the switch a little bit. That's what I'm talking about. But Taurus is what we value. It's what we manifest. We're creating, producing. It's our value, our innate value. It's even part of our value system. The worth that we feel inside of us is like coming out of hiding. The outer value for really others to see. We're percolating in our day-to-day world, bringing it out. It really is like the budding of the spring. We're heading into the fire season, and knowing we're valuable, knowing we are our greatest asset, and we are worthy. We are co-creating with Creator and illuminating that. And the 4 pillars of destiny, I talk about that, the elements of the day, the energetic centers, subtle energy centers, chakras, the channel sometimes, the pathways. We do have the yin and the yang of fire, which brings me into a whole nother field. But our auric fields as a reflector, myself, I'm always saying, is this the right time? Am I with the right people? Or is this the right place even? And what am I seeing that nobody else is seeing or sensing? along with what's the movement, what's the creation that I'm creating in the flow, what's the solution that I'm creating within the movement I'm creating. So did you feel, or maybe you had a course correction yesterday, an energetic hiccup? You may have come to a place of an emotional field and awareness by the end of the day, and emotions that may possibly kind of transpire or transform out of feeling very passionate about something out into your future, like you know you've got this. So what do you feel the most passionate about? What's the most excelling? And that by design is going to carry the waves in those particles that I've been talking about, coming from our emotional foundation, being grounded into the elemental of your day. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about there, join me for the rising of the origins if you're curious how you too can use the elementals off grid or on this grid to really inspire a perspective that you may have not seen, with them shedding a new light and the illumination of the elemental beings along with the spirits of them. But we do need sacred space. We do need an altar, a place where the spirit dwells for each and every one of us, and which really spirit is everywhere. But when we create sacred space to connect with them continually, the spirit space, it creates it's a safety net. It's a protection. It's being a conduit through usually the solar plexus or our heart center. But I will say not always, but however, that's generally where it is. Sometimes it can navigate through the earth star up through the root center into our sacral. I mean, it's by divine design. We're all choreographed differently. So just kind of feel into you. But it's about grounding our feelings into this sacred space. And it's offering us a moment to truly feel an emotion, a feeling, a validation of them, validating them even. Emotions need to be seen, heard, sensed, and felt as an entirely different aspect in our field of awareness. So you may even see it in your field of emotions floating outside or inside the astral, or what chakra is that emotion actually connected to? Kind of sense and feel into that. What's the feeling that's arriving and where is it landing? What's the spin of your energy center? And knowing that we are always connected to source, the oneness, the power of love, that resides within each and every one of us. So if you're ever feeling doubt, worry, and all those things, just say, I am connected, and let the universal streams stream in the divine. So often we need a reminder of that. The love that we have inside of us flows to our day-to-day world, illuminating the crevices, all the darkness, the ghost in the darkness, and knowing that we are safe, we are loved, we are valuable beyond this physical reality measuring stick, if you will. So you may have a moment of emotional fog kind of come over you, where it's the fog of the waters even. So going to the waters, the streams, just allowing yourself the space and the time for what you're feeling to really surf those waves, feeling your worth down to your bones. Water's a great asset where we can tone into it, speak into it, use all of our gifts. And just imagining the worth, our worth in the water, seeing that, scrying it, a value kind of set in stone. It's greater than ever imagined, knowing that we have the skills, the talent, the universe also knows, and our heart's intentions are really landing. They are visible. They're being seen in our reality. You're feeling them actually percolate and come. So the innate value that we have for ourselves, whatever it is you're creating with Creator, or in co-creation in our life, is actually taking authentic, true form. You've done the work. Now you're getting the credit for the work you've done. It's the particles and the waves. They're combining, they're coming together, merging right before the dream comes true. So it's the beyond a shadow of a doubt moment or movement. But the key to really access this, faith is one key, trusting in the divine timing. Things are fated. The other key is having a heartfelt knowing that your heart does know the way. You feel it in your heart lights up. The seeds are planted and you've taken the action to really initiate the growth. You've been watering it, nurturing it, sustaining it. Now it's blossoming, it's birthing, it's budding. And this is where manifesting the dream is starting to be seen. So allowing the bud to unfold, then you see your certificates, your achievements, your blossoming credit, really valuing ourselves. That's being seen in the reflection of the mirror, adding love to that reflection. So the fire reflects upon the waters, and we all have value differently. We all have unique gifts individual to each and every one of us. So really looking into the mirror, taking a bow and say, oh my God, wow, look what I did. Pat yourself on the back. That's really kind of the frequency, energy, excitement that's happening. So with that, just a few announcements. That was kind of a lot, wasn't it? But it is a Wizardry Wednesday. I like Wednesday's Wizard Day. I'm glad I named it that. I do have the Rising of the Origins coming up very soon. It's a free 5-day immersion. It starts June 1st, setting the stage, gift and purpose, the elementals, combining the elementals with the subtle energies, the chakras, and so much more. And this week's podcast, I've said probably every day, hope you don't mind, but it is Mel Hoffman. The voice of nature speaks through stick divination. We did pull a card for this, so you can kind of see that. But she's created a sacred oracle deck. So that's out for your musing pleasure. Just remember to comment literally on your favorite audio room artist. I do have room at the end of the year to do a recycle through some interviews. So I'm kind of waiting to see who got the most downloads and stuff like that. But your comments do matter. Musing with Tanya D podcast on my website, Apple, Spotify, kind of out there. So just remember it's Musing with Tanya D. And Sundays I do a guestry, a mystery guestry artist, a mystery guest, 4 Pillars chart and the Rising of the Origins. It's a private community on Facebook. If you need assistance, maybe you're curious about your elemental foundation, your useful elemental. It's called a mystery guest because nobody knows who it is unless you actually tell them or share that you're going to be on the show. And I do believe the elemental pathway is really a base of our foundation to rise up from our origins once we have that choreography and we have an understanding of the elemental realm. So join the Rising of the Origins, the immersions, to really dive deeper and immerse yourself into that. And I also do cowrie shell divinations. I kind of bring this into the gift and the purpose and the Rising of the Origins, by the way. And I do one-on-one soul support sessions. I pull a card, generally from the Fae, during a cowrie shell divination. But so yeah, super exciting. And I'm also Mongolia. If Mongolia is on the highway and your soul is calling you out for an indigenous spiritual adventure, space is limited. The price is going to go up the end of May, just so you know. I think it's at 4,000 right now. So just know it's going to hike up a bit here. And I do have today by design a channel connected. I just said that earlier, but the mutation channel. So what's curious, you can see there at the root, the 60, that's connecting of the root center to the sacral through the gates of acceptance and ordering. So this is a pressure, creating pressure to develop and adapt. It makes us move forward through overcoming stress of life. And the sacred center is responsible for perseverance, performance, as well as it's enhancing the creative energy. So we are in creation with Creator. And both of these centers are very powerful mortars. They have a huge reserve of energy to bring evolutionary changes to the environment and kind of cause it. It's the cause and the effect. It's initiating this pulsating energy, but it also is unpredictable. It's kind of a mutational energy, can bring melancholy. So it's an energy that's pulsing or pulsating. It's manifested by kind of tremors, if you will. So if you own this gate, the owners of it, you go from chaos to order, and again from chaos to melancholy. And that's all replaced by active actions. And then that's when the melancholy comes in. So it's kind of not logically explained the changes in our moods or to try somehow to influence that. This could actually lead to disorders, depression, excessive anxiety, a desire to keep everything under control. That's kind of the illusion that appears. But it's also the ability to understand limitations of our own vision, determined by how much the person realizes about yourself. So we kind of need to be patient, alert, and accept our own ignorance and give into the sacred. So that's kind of a great message for today, going into sacred lucidity. That's kind of what I see there. But this is the theme. It's a design of energy which really initiates and fluctuates. That's where the pulse comes in. But it's an innovative energy that really brings in new things, new circuitry into this world and changes the usual order of things, knowing that we're born to change everything that we actually deal with. So I think that's a great channel there. I'm kind of filling into it just so you know, to see how it feels for everybody. Don't know if it's happening for you, but just some little insight there. And then today, look at the mountain. We've got a mountain range, but we do have a fiery month, a very charming snake. I'm going to say this every day probably. So it's like, are we being charmed or is somebody charming us? So we have a mountain range in front of us, the Yang Earth Dragon. So this is a Earth Dragon, a big brown dragon, the Earth, Who wants to go ride a dragon? House of Dragons, anybody? I actually was talking about dragons earlier, didn't even know that we had a dragon day. But the young earth, so we go to the mountains in this case, which would be the dragon. The mountain doesn't come to us. We go to the mountain to share the secrets, our doubts, our worries, all the things. So the mountain is stable ground. We can't move a mountain unless we build upon shaky ground, right? And then the mountain slides down. We're seeing this all around the earth, how the big mountain slides, the earth is sliding, right? But this one's reliable. It's practical. It sticks to the ideas, the principles, the people. So this really is creating that solid foundation of what we're creating and bringing it manifested into this reality. And the dragon's a very huge support for our day. It's the sturdy ground, the thunder of the underworld, if you will. That's kind of what I see. And the yin wood is kindness. It's a power of being kind. Of all the things to be in the world, be kind. And the yin water is wealth for our day. So we have wealth coming to us, the sun. The sun is an unbecoming power. It's almost kind of overkill, but the snake does have a yang mountain energy hidden underneath it. So not so bad, and the big metal in storage is kind of using the kind words. Decisions actually made out of kindness, kind of respect too. So hopefully being seen as a kind person or a kind manifestation, whatever we're doing. And yin fire, or all of the fire to an earth day, is actually the spirit or resource. It's mentors. So we do have mentors. We've got resources that are being provided for us, but the yin fire is a heavenly resource where the snake is an earthy one. So it's like the 3D is going against the grade, and the heavenly atmosphere, the universal streams is showing us what we have the ability to create and manifest. So heaven is a better resource streaming in on a day like today in this case. It's spirit, it's intuition, it's our visions, it's our dreams, stuff like that. And the year pillar also brings flow of money, assets, prosperity coming to us. So it really is in alignment with the planets through our manifestations where things are becoming real. The mountain, very tangible energy. It's like it's gonna land. And the rabbit is even providing us the power to do this kind thing. Power of kindness, acting out of kindness instead of anger. It's kind of the frequency there. We do need more metal, however, which is the ability to make a better decision, taking that creativity out into the world, maybe nipping and tucking it, knives. I'm thinking of knives or tools, scissors, stuff like that. Creation, metal, mineral kind of energy, which minerals are a form of sustenance of what we are planting, venous circulation in the body, oxygenation, producing water to get us flowing. So we've got some options, and I'm always about options. You do you. But the message of today, it's actually kind of twofold because it comes after the goddess or the god, which we had that energy yesterday. And which goddess or god or diva did you actually call in? Go ahead and share in the comments for that. I asked everybody to share their god, goddess, or diva that they connected with. But today we've got boundaries, which are huge, right? Boundaries, which is actually perfect for the energy later in the day. We all need boundaries, energetic, mental, emotional, belief boundaries, value system boundaries, love, receiving, all of the things. We got to give ourselves some soul credit here, going to the cosmic bank. But boundaries are literally weaved into the parts of who we are, and they are not to be crossed energetically. But our beliefs, the three. So this is like we're manifesting a new way of treating ourselves, showing the world a new budding growth, discerning our feelings, our ability to commit to a new growth period of responsibility. We're kind of, that's kind of what that feels like. So trust and loving these feelings, the new belief that we're manifesting about who we are for the world to see and bringing it out upon the stage. So boundaries are also self-respect in this case, and they're creating a field of protection like self-love. How do you express self-love to yourself and also for yourself? You might be going out and getting a pedicure. Maybe you're getting your hair done. Maybe you're taking yourself out on a date by yourself. Could be a ritual, a hot bath, soaking out in the sun if you can get the sun to shine in your village, getting up to exercise. And often it manifests where we do need to kind of install some boundaries. Maybe we enforce some boundaries, nipping and tucking, so that no one person can totally drain our energy field and our energy source. No one's allowed or even needs to take all of our energy. We need boundaries. We need protection. Nobody has that right to demand all of who we are, our time, energy, resources, or any parts of who we are for that matter. So often when we do set boundaries, we do feel as if it's a selfish act or selfless act, kind of, to want to keep things to ourselves. However, it's a show of just validating and showing some self respect to who we are and really understanding and learning that we cannot give what we do not have to give. So just imagine yourself trying to give more of your time when you don't have enough anyway throughout the day. Your plate's already overly full. Maybe you need somebody to come take some stuff off your plate. Or maybe imagine spending more money when you're already in debt, or giving more of your energy to make somebody else feel joy when you've been really depressed for a very long time. So energetic boundaries. People will try to push your buttons. They'll try to, especially when you start upcycling your boundaries, putting up your walls and your standards, your boundaries, they're going to feel it. But the message here is that we are giving too much of ourself away without recharging our light, our batteries, our star. So we're often encouraged, to say no. That's the message here. Or at the very least, just not right now, not in this moment. No, not yet, or something like that. So just know that this is a great time for everybody in your village, your environment, that you get to say no to, because we're going to have more to give once we balance the threads in space and time. And also make sure that we really follow through to initiate those boundaries. Like not opening the front door when somebody rings the doorbell. I don't know, whatever you do. But again, people will push your limits to see how much you're willing to bend to their desires, especially when you first put those up. They're gonna test you. It's a test. So ultimately, stay grounded, committing to yourself, and just pay special attention, being aware, and just knowing that boundaries actually came after the goddess, which was yesterday's message. It's a combo. It's a sign. It's a alert signal. It's kind of a warning, really. A clear sign, a sigil that we cannot continue as we have been. Maybe we need to go off on a holiday, a retreat, any activity that's actually going to remove who we are, ourselves, from our regular, normal, typical day-to-day reality for even just a moment in time. So if it's not available for you to go off on a holiday, I almost said a tangent, take some time, go to your sacred space. For me, it's going to be out in nature, possibly go off on a hike, maybe a meadow, a park, wherever where you can just be in sacred space with yourself, because we need some alone time. That's kind of the message here, alone time. And I love this card, but boundaries. So we're moving into a new arena. So it's about centering our energy, building a foundation of where we are aiming our energy for this abundance. It's like the target, I'm seeing kind of a bullseye with an arrow. I don't shoot arrows, but I can see the bullseye. Everything that we have been producing up until now has been in process. So we're kind of feeling the feels, the waves and those particles moving from the energy creation energy to the energy of taking it out onto the stage. So it's shifting, it's changing. So feeling our feelings, feel them in your field. It's like what's stirring our passions, what's blowing up our skirt, anything and everything that comes through and elevates the feeling of the passion. Kind of reminds me of like the passion of the Christ in a weird way. So this full expression of who you are and what you're creating is being highlighted and manifested, but grounding our emotional field, coming to our center, the star that we are, and knowing heartfelt our worth is contagious, and allowing what you feel to really be the barometer of what is a value for you and what is not a value for you. Sometimes what we value changes, and people often can make us feel valueless. So that would be possibly the boundary alert signal, the reminder that a person or a situation has bumped off our field. So anything that alerts your emotional field, we got to flick it off. This is about cleansing the auric field, I feel. So really staying true to who you are, true to you. And we do have to be in a space of our creature comforts to feel what we are most passionate about. We're safe, some alone time with ourselves. And what happens is you're going to feel into what your heart values to be true authentically. However, the key aspect is loving it, even when you get the bill for it. That would be like a mortgage or a house, a car, whatever. You still love it when the bill comes in the mail. So we're also loving of it or loving on it, knowing that we are blessed and we're feeling grateful that we were able to manifest the abundance to bring whatever it is into our world, the blessing bowl of receiving, arigato. But I would be affirming the feelings of all the great things and the greater, this and more, this and that, and then some. And just know that you are on solid ground. We've got young earth, so that's solid ground. That is strength, right? A mountain. And our creation is coming to fruition. Why? Because the love that we have for it shines brighter than ever before. So I would affirm that I am illuminating my worth onto solid ground. It's like the sun is highlighting the solid ground. So with that, inshallah and Ashe, blessings to you. I'm not going live tomorrow, so you're going to have to hear tomorrow's card, which is the Wildcat, on Friday. So blessings. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the other side.
I tend to be pretty visual, I would say visual and energetic in terms of the work, but I enjoy working with other people who are more auditory.
So do you have a favorite? Like, are any of your cards more speak to you more than others, or do you love them all the same?
Well, I love all the cards, actually. I do. And what's interesting is that I feel like they have a life of their own, honestly. It's like there's as much of them as there is of me in them. And sometimes I'm kind of amazed at how they speak so clearly to people. I think you asked me earlier about how I incorporate them into my energy healing sessions. And I do often just draw one card, like at the end of a session or something, sort of pull things together. And also whatever comes up during the session can be kind of brought to a conclusion with what comes through.